as everybody was ready to go. I don't think we've gotten the green light just yet. I think they might be waiting on us.
Hey, we're good up here.
Indeed, they looked up top. We give them the thumbs up. We're ready to play.
We're calling
shots.
Do you know
you
have
that much power?
Yeah, that feels great. Let's do something else.
The world is at your command, Megan.
Love it.
The first pitch is in there for a ball. So just a few seconds behind 2 after the top of the hour as left fielder Jenna Johnson stands in. And this one comes high.
I think it's always interesting at the beginning of a game, especially a game like this. It's kind of like a chess match. Like you don't want to put all your cards on the table. You want to put enough to be successful, on both sides, defense and offense and in the circle. So it's exciting to kind of see where everybody starts and what they go with here.
That one comes inside. It'll be a ball, 3-0. That one just gets in there for a strike.
Again, really important as a leadoff hitter, to kind of see what the pitcher has and, pass that on to your teammates here.
3-1, smoked foul.
And now Kerpix is at 3-2,
Alabama's 21-3 here on the season. Dropped a series last weekend to the Gators. And Johnson will take first. (21-3) here on the season. Dropping that series in Tuscaloosa. This is a 10-game stretch, 9 games versus ranked opposition. Won a midweeker on the road in Tallahassee against a top 20 Florida State team. Bunted. Davis, this will be a foul ball. And she'll be out at first. We saw a familiar face down there at first. Kayla Bro.
Yeah, we played a couple games against each other back in the day.
Getting out of the TV box, going back into the field, down there coaching first base for Alabama. As Abby Dukeshire stands in.
I think you look at it like, your leadoff batter gets a, hit by pitch, bunts are over. They're really looking to just manufacture runs here, I think.
This one is pulled foul, home run distance. One away, runner in scoring position in Johnson. Dukeshire, a 380 hitter on the season. Count 2-1 to Dukeshire. Johnson there at second. There's a slow roller. Mosley will glove it from third to first for the out. 5-3 put out retires Dukeshire, but Johnson now at third with 2 away.
And I think Kerpix here wants to focus on, being able to establish her rise ball so she can, induce pop-ups, but also, with her off-speed and drop, induce ground balls and keep it in the infield, and that way you give your defense a chance to just play defense and give you some good outs.
So that brings up Marley Giles. Watches the rise come in high. 1-0 the count. Giles, a sophomore, 394 hitter on the season. Called strike 1-1. Dan Rogers calling our balls and strikes here this evening. Stephen Gould is at first. Chris Neighbors is at third. The SEC crew working this 3-game set here in Athens this weekend. That one bounces. 2-1 the count.
So you see you're trying to establish height. You know, you have a rise ball, you have an off-speed drop that's going to be lower, and east-west pitches, curve and screw, and just kind of seeing what they're biting at.
3-1 the count. Coach Murphy over there at third.
I think the batter might have thought it hit her bat. Maybe a foul ball.
(3-1) swung on and missed.
And that's going to be important for Kerpix to establish that height of a pitch because it's very similar to her screwball. So you have a rise and you have a screw. If you have them very similar in height, they're moving differently. So if you can establish that height and get them to swing and miss, it's going to work all game.
Full count. This one's lifted up. Will get out of the infield. Dallas Goodnight will find it in center from Jackson, Tennessee. Starting in the circle here for Alabama. Her 11th start of the season, a .53 ERA, 8-1. As Walt 19 struck out 74, 7th best ERA in D1, and we mentioned this is the best staff ERA in the SEC.
Yeah, when you have a good defense and you're, really doing some great things on the mound, it really makes a lot of things really work very smoothly. A lot of situational pitching.
This Georgia offense leads the SEC in home runs. We saw Sarah Mosley highlighted there in the batting 9. She'll bat second here this evening.
And I think it's interesting, Lindy Ray batting first as leadoff. Coach Tony is looking for quality at bats, and that's what she usually has.
Yep.
She gets a big hit or she gets walks. And as a leadoff, that's what you want. Start your lineup off with a base runner. So I really think it's an interesting move to have her at leadoff, but she's successful. She has really good at bats. She has a good eye, and she has a good bat.
Here comes inside at the knees, 3-0. 269 average here on the season. In that left-hand batter's box. 3-0 comes inside. It'll be a 4-pitch walk to Lindy Ray Davis.
And that's what you want. That's a quality at bat for Georgia to start off with. You have somebody like Lindy Ray who can hit the ball, put it in play hard, but also can walk. She's going to be selfless. She's going to, pass the bat to Mosley, and that's what you want in a lineup.
Tony Baldwin wasting no time wanting to talk strategy here with his squad. I think he knows with this pitching staff, runs might not be plentiful here tonight, so when you get someone on, especially at leadoff hitter, you're going to want to take advantage.
Maybe we'll see a sneaky bunt right here from Mosley. Really catch him off guard from her last couple at bats.
Yeah, it's a similar situation as to what we saw Wednesday night against Georgia Tech. Lindy Ray Davis walked to open the game, and then Sarah Mosley drove her home on a 2-run home run. And with Mosley being one of the feared bats in the SEC, she's not going to see a ton of pitches.
Yeah, I think it's just really important for her to pick her pitch and make sure she's swinging at stuff she wants to swing at.
The interesting thing Wednesday night, both those home runs that you saw at the open of the broadcast, the pitch before it She ripped home run distance but fouled in left field. Next pitch, she goes opposite field to right center for the home runs. This one's lifted to left. That ball is out of the glove. Davis rounds second. She's going to go to third. The throw will be to second. They're going to have Mosley had her paired up in a tag down. They don't throw over to first. She dives back into the bag safely. And Georgia's got them on the corners here with nobody out.
And that's good base running by Lindy Ray. I mean, you see something to the green. Obviously, the outfielder dove for that, kind of bobbled it. Going first to third, 2 bases, that's what you want. You want to spread those runners out. And then Mosley trying to go for 2. But that's, you get in a pickle, get back to first, everything works itself out.
Piece of hitting there is that one. Diving attempt by Johnson to try to pull that one in, and it bobbles out of her glove. It's going to be a tough play to get there in time. She didn't lay down for it early enough to make that dive.
Yeah, that type of ball, she didn't hit it like perfect. If she did, it probably would have gone over the fence, but it kind of had a downward angle a little bit.
Oh, a liner double play. And a tough break there for Jada Kearney, and Alabama will take advantage of the DP. And just like that, runner taken off the board, but 2 outs.
And I think that's what's, it's going to come down to a lot of, the balls are going to be hit today. So how is the defense going to respond? Are they going to, make errors? They're going to make great plays. You just got to be ready for anything at this point.
And a strike to Sydney Kuma. So an L3U on the double play. And a good number of Alabama folks making the trip, and they came to their feet there on that double play. This is a big crowd here this evening.
Yeah, we got a full stadium tonight.
Jack Turner is packed out. Off the end of the bat, slow roller, the pitcher going to get to it. And she'll be safe. Georgia drives in the first run of the game. I imagine we will get a second look at that one, as that one is a close play at the bag.
Yeah, that was really close.
Kuma
ruling on the field is that the runner is safe at first base. Alabama's challenging the ruling at first. The play is under further review.
By the pitcher, because to be able to get out of the circle after you pitch it, runners running, fast running, you got to get rid of it quickly. That's a good play for a pitcher to be able to make.
After further review, the ruling on the field has changed. The runner is out at first base.
Now, Chris Neighbors doesn't have a lot of friends in Athens at the moment, but call overruled, and that'll get Alabama out of the jam here in the first inning. 5, 6, and 7 for Alabama here in the second. Bailey Dowling will lead things off. 5'10" senior from St. Joe, Illinois. Slow roller off the bat. Mosley. One away.
Really establishing that curve, the screw and the rise ball, because they're going to swing at it. So if you can keep it right there at the letters, if it's a rise ball, they're not going to swing, or they're going to swing and miss. If it's they're going to swing, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to get little ground balls, and that's what she's going to try to do all night, and she's going to go to that off speed a little bit too.
Popped up. Mosley, 2 away. Sarah Mosley with both outs here in the second, and the footwork for a third baseman is so important, and we saw it last inning and then this inning. The ability to move to your left in a seamless transition to get that ball, get it out to first. Not as easy as the good ones make it look.
Yeah, no, you got to be light on your feet. Third base is not easy, especially when you play on a field that may be a little bit harder, or, the field has a lot to do with it. But she's really good at moving left to right, even if there's a hard ball down the line. She's made a lot of plays down the line, moving to your right. So she's a great third baseman. You see right now she's kind of in that 5-6 hole. Yep. So, depending on who the hitter is, lefty or righty, speed, no speed, that's going to dictate kind of where she stands.
Kinley Cahalan will bat with 2 away. .279 average here on the season. Kerpick's 3-0 here.
And what you want to stay away from in this game is free bases. You don't want to give up walks. You want to give up hit by pitches because a lot of times that turns into runs.
Torrio in there for a strike, 3-1. .3-1 is fouled back out of play. It'll be a full count. Full count, 3-2. This ball is smoked to right field. That thing is gone. Kinley Cahalan drills it over the right field fence. Her second of the season, and Alabama strikes first in Athens.
The one thing I see there, she's a lefty hitter. Her toes are on the line. So when you do that, you essentially take away that inside pitch from Kerpick's. So she's either going to hit you or she's going to, put it over the white. And knowing that, if you're comfortable hitting that ball over the white, then that's what's going to happen. So, kudos to that hitter. And Kerpick's has to be able to not be afraid to go more inside if she's going to go inside.
And you make a really good observation, her being so tight in the box. First 3 pitches, well outside the strike zone. She fouls one off, evens the count up, or makes it full 3-2, and then able to turn one. Just no margin for error when she takes that inside half of the plate away.
Yeah, she went all outside and then busted her in, but her toes are on the line, and that's probably what she wanted, to be honest.
Ground ball. This one will be taken by Digby. She'll step on the bag herself. But the inning makes Emily Digby, starting at first base as a freshman so impressive. This is a team that you could see a season or 2 ago. If everybody comes back, they've played a lot of ball together, this could be a really good team.
Yeah, the more you play with, your teammates, you get to know them and you get more comfortable and you create chemistry. And you see that happening on the field. And then for Emily Digby to, kind of jump in there and amongst juniors and seniors, it, says a lot about her. And, I've been able to watch some games here and there, and she has great at-bats. She's had, some good hits. So, and she's obviously athletic. She's playing in the infield. She's, been able to move around. So kudos to her, yeah.
2-0 was swung on and missed here by Jaden Fields.
And one thing I've seen with Alabama's pitcher here is she's going hard in to a lot of the righties. She wants to establish that inside pitch she has, and she wants to go hard in and make them swing and miss or get little dribblers and pop-ups.
3-1 to Fields. It'll be Jaden Fields, Sydney Chambly, Ellie Armistead due up here in the second. Back to the pitcher. She'll zip that one to first.
Yeah, you have a pitcher that's pitching high 60s, 70, and then has an off speed. That's a tough difference in speed to be able to make adjustments, but what you want to be able to do is, see the ball deep and get your barrel out.
See the ball strike split for Kayla Beaver. Maybe not her most efficient outing here so far. 9 balls to 7 strikes.
And I think a lot of those balls are very close as well. So as a pitcher, that's okay because you're keeping it very close to the strike zone and making them make decisions. Whereas if you're immediately a strike and immediately a ball, it's very easy to tell the difference between the two.
If you're at least close, you hope that that strike zone expands over the course of the game, and what was a borderline call in the first, maybe in the fifth or sixth, becomes a strike.
Or the more they see it, the more they want to swing at it, because you're talking about inches here. The umpire calls it at the letters, and he calls it a ball above the letters. So you're banking on them swinging at that and inducing outs.
This one sent to left center. Johnson tracks it down, 2 away.
Again, with Beaver pitching high 60s, 70s, she's going hard in to both lefties and righties to be able to establish that zone, because it's harder to hit that in with higher velocity.
Strike down Lee Armistead, 0-1.
And it looks like this umpire likes a lower zone, so if she can establish that lower pitch as well, that's going to be good for her throughout this game.
Line foul quickly behind, 0-2. Armistead getting a piece there.
Again, going up and hard and in and a little bit up. She's looking to create pop-ups or little, dribblers to third base in the infield. And she's going to stay there until they hit something hard, fair.
Another 0-2 fouled away. So a good battle here with Armistead.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see something high out of the zone or even an off speed here on the ground. Something that's not a strike, because you don't want her to just, get her bat out there, be on time, and, end up creating a base hit. So something out of the zone here.
She'll swat at that one, drill it foul again. A lot of these foul balls going opposite side there on that first base side.
And you see that a lot with higher velocity. Being able to get your barrel out on time is harder when you have higher velocity.
More of a defensive swing there as that one bounces off the bat. She's fouled off 4 straight here since getting behind, 0-2.
And as a pitcher, it's really important, as you mature and as you develop, understanding that you don't always have to pitch strikes. A lot of times the best pitchers pitch more balls than strikes, and you get them to swing at it. So 0-2, this ball should be nowhere over the white at all.
This one is sent to left center. It'll drop, a hard-earned single for Ellie Armistead with 2 away.
And Armistead does a great job of getting her barrel out earlier so she can get that hard inside pitch and be able to stay through it.
Emily Digby, the first baseman. So it took 7 pitches for Armistead to get the single. All strikes. Just take a big cut there, 1-1.
Yeah, her bread and butter is that inside pitch or hard into whatever hitter, lefty or righty. So you see her trying to establish that with these righties a lot, is going inside hard to them.
One and two.
I wouldn't be surprised if Armistead steals here.
Popped up, it'll stay in play, and the catcher, Giles, cannot keep up with it, has it bounce out of her glove. Digby will get to find another pitch.
And it's tough, you know, some of those balls, like I said earlier, you know, it's going to come down to who executes on defense, you know, who makes those fundamental plays. And sometimes it takes one pitch. It takes one pitch to make a, you know, a game change dramatically. So you want to be able to make sure you're making the fundamental plays.
Borderline right there, 2-2.
Yeah, we're talking inches between the balls and strikes, which is good for Beaver because they're going to swing. You know what I mean? They're going to swing. He's going to call it. So you just got to be confident and keep it there.
2-2. This one's popped up. Will it get out of play? It'll land on top of the Georgia dugout. See her numbers this season, 273 with runners aboard. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Armistead gets a 2-out single. Alabama is on a 2-game winning streak in the series. They last met April of last season. It was a 9-0 6-inning run rule game for the Tide. Last meeting in Athens was May 2nd of 2021. Alabama won 6-3. Crimson Tide is 20-11 all time here in Athens. 9-1-2 for the Tide here in the third as Kristen White, the center fielder, leading things off.
And I think you're starting to see that he does have a lower zone. So as a pitcher and a catcher, you want to be able to relay that to each other and start establishing that zone.
To left, Chambly back to catch it, 1 away.
But it doesn't mean stop throwing high balls, which is what she just did. And that's exactly what you want to do with a slapper up. Pitch right there, screwball on the outside, goes to the left.
You see pretty close to even ball to strike ratio for Kerpix here tonight. And we were talking there during the break. Both these pitchers have a fairly high pitch count here. They've been worked deep into some pretty long at-bats.
Yeah, I think that is on both sides. I think, you know, you have the hitters that have really good eyes. So you're seeing a lot of, you know, what pitchers are they swinging at? What are they looking for? And then they're also aggressive on the opposite side. They're ready to swing. And they're fouling a lot of balls off, putting a lot of balls in play. So, yeah, you're going to have a high pitch count. I'm not entirely sure where those balls are missing. So, you know, from a pitcher's perspective and catcher, it's kind of hard to navigate that a little bit sometimes. But at the end of the day, you can't do anything about it, so you just got to stay in there and compete.
4-pitch wonk to Jenna Johnson.
So then now you're thinking, what can I do to make these hitters swing? If they're just going to watch because he has a tighter zone, what can I do to make these hitters swing? What balls do I need to throw?
Four-pitch wonk with 1 away. Kaylee Hevelin. Fouled back 0-2. Hevelin sack bunted in the first to move the runner around. 0-2 comes high, 1-2. Johnson has not attempted a stolen base this season there at first, but Georgia does seem ready for her to show some speed if she chooses to. .324 average for Evelyn here on the season with runners on base. Slugs .439 does the Alabama second baseman as this one's pulled foul.
And the interesting thing as a hitter, you know, when you're down or you have 2 strikes, you know you have to be ready because you just don't know what the umpire is going to always call. So even though you know he's not calling high balls, you can't stay off of it because you like to swing at it. So sometimes it's a toss-up, you know, and I think Kerpix knows that, so still inputting that higher pitch, even though he's not actually calling it a lot. Especially when you still have another ball or 2 to pitch. And Kerpix has been working a lot on being able to throw her off-speed changeup in any count. This could be a good count to do that.
Throw to second. Not in time. Johnson will have her first stolen base of the season, but Heavenland is retired on strikes.
And you kind of see the runner peek in at the catcher a little bit. If I ever got the steal sign, I'm not looking at nobody except the base. I am I am a slingshot off that base. I'm not stopping for nothing. I'm not looking at nobody.
Abby Duxer.
It could slow you down, you know, and you don't want to slow down on a steal.
All gas, no brakes.
Correct.
If you've got the sign, what is there to look at? You're
green
going.
Light, green light.
In there for a strike, 1-1.
And there you see her change up off speed, and that's a valuable tool as a pitcher to be able to change speeds, especially with a team like Alabama who's comfortable swinging the bat, who's aggressive, who has some really, really good hitters. You want to be able to change speeds.
The 1-1, this one is sent to left into foul territory. Chambly on the warning track. She'll pull it in. Bama will strand another runner here as we head to the bottom mostly with 8, and then Jada Kearney, should she bat here in that 3 spot, 11 home runs. Here's Goodnight putting a bunt down. She's going to leg one out to first.
I think that is her bread and butter. I think if she does that every time, I mean, you're looking at a very, very high percentage that she will be safe. And it's even better because you know she's coming hard in, so you can drag that bunt all the way down that line and just run with it.
Goodnight, an Alabama transfer from Decula.
So you know this game probably means it's a little bit extra spicy to her, maybe just a little bit.
Means something for sure.
It just means more.
Getting that marketing slogan in there. And Dallas Goodnight 6 for 7 on the season in stolen bases. So one of the speedier threats for Georgia on the base path. So something to keep an eye on here as now we go top of the order. And Lindy Ray Davis. And you can see that Goodnight there at first has Giles' attention.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Tony, uses that play card that he has in his hand and, do something, manufacture a run, move the runner, figure out a way to get something going here on the bases. Always, when I play in the outfield, I always used to like to look at the coach because I could feel it. I could look at their body language and know what they're calling.
Davis fouls this one off the right foot.
So that looked like it was a hit and run, obviously. So, you know, the runner's going no matter what. And as a hitter, your job is to hit that ball hard. Obviously, you don't want to hit a pop-up and you don't want to hit a line drive, but you're getting your barrel out and you want to hit that ball. So no pressure on you. All you got to do is see the ball, hit the ball.
That easy, huh?
Mm-hmm. That easy.
There's a minor foul towards Tony Baldwin.
Some days easier than others, but essentially it is that easy.
If you can hit the ball really hard, most of the time good things are going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a risk, but you can do it again with 2 strikes. A lot of people won't, but it would be surprising.
Swing, throw down to second, and Goodnight's going to be taken out, stealing. Bang, bang, double play there on the strikeout, throw out at second base. That wipes the bases clean.
That's a really good play by the catcher. It was a lower pitch, and then she comes up strong with a strong throw, and it just...
Ground ball back to the pitcher. Mosley on one pitch. She is out, and it is a 1-2-3 inning here in Alabama. 0 for 5 with runners on. Georgia just 1 for 5.
Yeah, I think it's really important in this type of game, obviously. Sometimes one hit gets it done. You know, obviously Georgia has had more hits, but I think it's going to be even more important at executing situational hitting. Whether we're putting bunts down, hit and run, you know, what have you, that's going to be the difference maker in this game. So it may not be a home run that gets the win today. It might be a bunt, maybe a squeeze. So you got to be able to do that as a player. Whenever your name's called to put down a squeeze, you got to be ready to do it.
Defensive swing to first.
And that's what Kerpix likes. She likes inducing pop-ups with that higher pitch. And that's what she wants to be able to do all night. It's hard when he's not calling that pitch as a strike. So you're banking on them swinging at that ball.
Four, 5, and 6 for Alabama here in the 4th. It's Giles is retired on the pop-out. Bailey Dowling, the third baseman, led off the second with a ground out.
So she goes 2 off speeds in a row, 2 change-ups in a row.
Yep.
So you know that she can throw it at any count. You think she'll throw 3?
50 and 53 miles an hour on those two respectively. They're 63.
Yeah, she's way ahead here. So, you know, she really has a lot of freedom with the balls and locations of her pitches. And again, 0-2 so far ahead in the count. You don't want to be over the white. You don't want to give them a chance to, you know, muscle something out there. So something high, low, out of the zone here.
Outside, 1 and 2. Two and 2.
And she's still ahead. You have one, you know, you have two strikes, 2 balls right here. So you still have a ball to play with. So it doesn't have to be your best pitch ever.
That one pulled foul. Got her timed up there. That's 62 miles an hour there on that one.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another off speed, something low in the dirt or something high out of the zone.
Off the end of the bat into no man's land in right center. And Bailey Dowling has earned a single. And Chucky pinch ran for at first base. Kinley Pate will run for her.
Number 6, Kinley Pate. Now batting right fielder number 15, Kendall Clark.
Kayla Bro giving her instructions there from third base. Kendall Clark, the right fielder. And that one hit her. So Georgia in a little bit of trouble here with first and second. And one out. And Kinley Cahalan, the home run hitter earlier.
And as a hitter, you know that she's spreading the strike zone east to west. You have no reason to get out of the way, especially if you can get on base. And I think that's what you're seeing with Alabama. They know that she's going to come in, and they're not going to move out of the way.
That looked like a really close call there on that hit by pitch.
Yeah, it barely got her, but I think it got her right there on the elbow.
We'll see how Georgia navigates a little bit of traffic here. Cahalan took a 3-2 to right center for a solo home run, and coming into the inning was the first hit of the contest for Alabama. This one is popped to right. Dallas Goodnight from center. She'll get it there and throw to third. 2 away.
And that's a big out for Kerpix. I think, she knows that she hit one last time. So, going right at her, making her swing and making her earn it, I think is in Kerpix's mind, and not being afraid to pitch your pitches.
2 outs, first and second for Lauren Essman.
See that off speed again, starting with that, and it's very close. I don't entirely know where that one's missing either, but it's a really good pitch.
Throw to second, ball gets away, backing it up, they'll go to third, and she gets in under the tag. I would imagine Georgia will want a second look at it, and time is called.
It looked like the ball beat her there, but I think Mosley had to go up for it, and she got her foot under there.
Yeah. And Georgia with a second look at it there from the dugout. They're not going to challenge the call. So count 3-0. It'll be an advance to third on a throwing error by the catcher, Lindy Ray Davis. Be the first error of the game for either team. See Essman, a .500 hitter here this season with runners in scoring position. She is a transfer from Michigan, a native of Kalamazoo. 3-1 and the bases are loaded.
Yeah, with the 3-1 count, I mean, there's no pressure on the hitter, especially in this situation with runners on. Like, put the pressure on the pitcher, make her pitch pitches that you want to hit.
Tony Baldwin going to come out and talk with his right-hander and his catcher. Patrick Murphy now with our home plate umpire, Dan Rogers, looking at the score sheet. We're going to have a pinch hitter.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Now hitting for Alabama, number 11, Larissa Pruitt.
Larissa Pruitt, sophomore from Harcel, Alabama. Want to know the count here to the sophomore from Danville, Alabama. Count 1-1.
Again, with her off speed, she's real comfortable throwing it, and it's been called a strike a lot. And I think that we're seeing her throw it more and more because they're not swinging at it yet. And if they do, it's been little dribblers in the infield.
Off the end of the bat, a slow roller underhand to second. That'll get Georgia out of the jam. Alabama, her 42 for Kayla Beaver. Both pitchers have navigated out of traffic well here this evening. 3 innings, 3 hits. They've been spread out one each inning here for Beaver. Has walked 1, struck out 2.
Yeah, she looks really comfortable on the mound. Really hype and excited with all the defensive plays that her team has made. And going against a lineup like Georgia, it's a lot. It's a lot to do that. It's a lot. It's a big ask. But she looks very comfortable throwing her balls. Pitches are moving. And she can't be doing much better than she's doing right now.
No, she's getting it done for Alabama, who's the 0-1 is fought off foul.
And Georgia's swinging the bat well. I think they're swinging at good pitches. They're battling at, in their at-bats. I think they need to make smaller adjustments because she is pitching with a higher velocity. So making smaller adjustments in your swing, I think, is going to get them where they want to be.
Just got a piece. 0-2.
A lot of times people think because the pitcher pitches harder, I got to swing harder. But in reality, you just want to start your swing earlier so you're on time. So you don't change your swing. The timing of your swing is a little bit different.
Blooped to second over the head of Hevelin. 4th hit of the contest for Georgia. A leadoff single for Jada Kearney.
Looks like we might get a pinch runner.
Yeah, Tony Baldwin has come out with papers in hand with Dan Rogers, and indeed, it will be Haley Eaton.
Leadoff batter gets on. Bottom of the 4th. I mean, I think this is a good call right here.
That'll bring up Sydney Kuma.
Again, situational hitting, manufacturing runs, I think those are the most important things you got to think about today.
Especially as we start to get a little bit later into the contest here, bottom of the 4th. Georgia with just the 3 hits here. Now 4 coming into the inning.
Yeah, you want to slow the game down. You want to, do the fundamentals, easy mechanics, play the game. And a lot of times that's, put a bunt down, move the runner, pass the bat.
Check swing, she didn't go. And yeah, I think opportunities are at a premium here as you see Eaton at first base. Alabama's run off just 2 hits. One of those is being the solo home run. Tide has stranded 5. Georgia's not gotten a run on 4 hits and has left 2.
Yeah, that's why it's even more important to pick the pitches that you want to swing at and then swing at them. I think, you know, what you saw with Kuma just now, a little bit of a check swing on 0-2. You don't want to guess. You don't want to be up there guessing. You want to make sure you're swinging at balls that you know you can hit hard.
Full count to Sydney Kuma.
And be ready because Beaver, I mean, she's going right at him. You know, she's going right at him early, and then she's going out of the zone later when she gets ahead. So if you're ready immediately, 0-0 count, that's when you catch them off guard, and you can hit the ball hard.
Out of play, foul.
Again, up and in on the hands with a lot of velocity, it's a tough pitch. So just, you know, keep staying in there and battling. That's, you know, make her pitch count rise.
Georgia trying to string something together here in the 4th. Outside.
And that's a good quality at bat. You go 0-2 all the way back to a walk.
Just 2 walks tonight here for Beaver.
What I would like to see here, given the game situation, is this is a perfect opportunity to put a bunt down.
Oh, you just called that one beautifully. The throw to first will take Fields out on the sacrifice, but now 2 runners in scoring position for Georgia and just 1 out.
I could tell how Tony was holding his paper and how he gave the signs was very like,
deliberate.
Let's do this.
Well, good execution there by Fields on the sacrifice.
Because at this point, think about the hits that Georgia has had. It hasn't been super big all the way to the wall. It's been some flares over the infield. So if you do that right now, it could score. It's for sure going to score 1. It could score 2, depending on who's at second with speed, you know, or how deep it is. If it takes the outfield to the line.
Lance McMahon coming out of the dugout there to go have a word with his pitcher, Kayla Beaver.
Sometimes you don't get to choose your moment. The moment chooses you. And I think for Fields in that moment, it was her moment to put a bunt down, and she did it beautifully.
Sydney Chandler takes a massive cut, 0-1. 77 strikes to 21 balls here on the contest for Beaver. Continuing to whittle down that .51 ERA.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of short game right here, a squeeze, something.
Bunted foul.
Safety squeeze.
Might have just tipped to the cap a little bit there.
I mean, when you have speed on the bases, it's like endless opportunities because you're just going against their defense.
Squared to bunt, the 1-2. Fouls this one back, and we mentioned a jam-packed Jack Turner Stadium. Not as much seating capacity this season with the construction out in left field. The outfield seats gone. Standing room only here with folks wrapped around the top of both walkways here at the top of the bleachers, and it just feels like this is kind of a pivotal moment in the game.
Yeah, I think this is really important for Georgia to get something started here.
Popped up. And Evelyn will take it 2 away.
And that's another big out for Beaver, you know, hard in on a lefty with 2 strikes in this moment after you just gave up a bunt and they moved the runners. I mean, that's a big out.
Outside to Ellie Armistead with 2 away, 2 in scoring position. She's got a single here today. Down 0-2. Fouled off 4 pitches with the 2 strikes before she sent one to left for a single.
And this is a great count for Armistead to be ready for something good to hit. 2-0, you're ahead. If it's something you like, I mean, put the bat on it.
Strike call, 2-1.
And a lot of times, if you get behind an account, you know what the pitcher throws, she's going to go with her best pitch. She wants to get back ahead. She wants to get a strike on you. She's going to go with her best pitch. And right now, tonight, hard in is what Beaver's going to.
Count even, 2-2. Off the end of the bat. Deuces wild in Athens. Sent to left center. That ball is out of here!
That's a great at bat. Battle, 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 and swing at something you like.
Ellie Armistead pops the top off of Jack Turner Stadium. A 3-run home run, and Georgia leads for the first time tonight.
And that's 2 hits for Armistead tonight off of Beaver. And, you know, she had a long at bat her first at bat. She battled, 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 and came away with a hit and battled again. You make these pitchers work. As a hitter, you see more pitches, and then you can jump on one you like.
And there is movement in the Alabama bullpen. As pinch hitter here for Georgia, Jaden Goodwin. Ground ball to short. Around for the out. But Georgia drives 3.
For Walters to get in here and shut him down.
So we saw Haley Eaton pinch run for Jada Kearney. She's actually going to stay in the game defensively in right field. Emily Digby takes her spot at first base back after Jaden Goodwin pinch hit for her there in the 4th. And then Walters in the circle now for Georgia. 1, 2, and 3 for Alabama here as we go to the 5th.
As a hitter, you know, you face a pitcher 1, 2, 3 times in a game, and you're like, oh, yeah, this feels great. I'm making adjustments, and then, bam, they take them out. It's like, dang. So I think this is a great opportunity and a great time to do that with the top of the lineup up.
Foul territory, sliding for it, Heaton. Pinch runs, comes in defensively, and it seems like you come into the game, the ball finds you.
The ball will come to you. It looks like Kuma could have caught that ball too if she didn't get called off. And that's a lot of ground. That's a lot of ground that they both were able to cover on that ball.
Kuma coming from second. This ball is sent to right field. That ball off the foul pole, a home run. Kaylee Hevelin came flying out of the batter's box, but he's able to slow the trot down as this one off the right field foul pole, and we've got a one-run game in Athens.
Again, I think you see that ball just a little over the white, and that, you know, these hitters have already, you know, they've hit all game. So a ball over the white is nothing new to them. And so I think that's where these pitchers have to understand is you really have to hit your spots really, really well later in the game.
A one-line foul.
And just looking at the last couple pitches from Walters, they're all the same height. And I think, too, later in the game, you have to be able to mix speeds. You have to be able to mix heights, because if everything looks the same, everything feels the same when you're swinging at it. You know what I mean? So I think it's really important that we can create height difference in the pitches so it changes the eye level of the batters.
Two away as Dukeshire grounds out.
Now batting the catcher, number 34, Marley Giles.
I'll bring up Marley Giles.
And another thing to think about, you know, it's a one-run game now. Georgia got 3 runs with one swing essentially, but the ability that they have to have multiple runners on gives you more insurance when you come back on defense. And so because of that, they still have the lead by 1 run instead of it being a tie ball game. So taking walks, hit by pitches, manufacturing, moving runners, it's really important when you think about the whole scheme of things in this type of game.
10 pitches now for Walters. Popped back out of play. In the dirt.
I mean, that's a great pitch for the pitch count, 1 and 2. You don't want to leave anything hanging over the plate. You have plenty of time, plenty of balls to give. So you want to see if you can get them swinging.
Two fouled away. Two. This one's lifted to center. Giles flies out. That'll end the Alabama half of the 5th. The solo home run off the bat here. Both of the non-conference and then obviously opening SEC play with Florida. Defeated Florida State on the road in a midweeker here before coming to Athens. Dallas Goodnight bunted her way aboard in the third.
Looks like the defense is maybe a couple steps in. See if they can get her on another bunt, get her out.
One and two.
That's why it's so important as a slapper, multi-tooled hitter, somebody who can hit, slap, bunt, is having the ability to read the defense and know what that means for you. What's in store for me? What should I do here?
Liner to third. One out. We'll go back to the top of the order now for Georgia, and Alabama's going to go to the bullpen. Fresh arm coming out to greet Coach Patrick Murphy and Kayla Beaver. Beaver, to this point, is going to work 4 innings and a third as we're in the bottom of the fifth, so we will reset with the pitching change. One out in the bottom of the fifth. Georgia leads 3-2. Kayla Beaver, 4 and a third, 5 hits, 3 runs. All earned for Georgia here so far tonight. She walks 2, strikes out 2 in 72 pitches, and Beaver came into the day with a .53 ERA. Leah Johnson will have it turned over to her, the sophomore from Fairhope, a .24 ERA, now 12 appearances on the season. So Alabama hits you with 1 sub-1 ERA, and boom, I got another one with an even better ERA to throw at you here if you're this Georgia lineup. But we mentioned Georgia making the pitching change there in the fifth, as it was going to be the third time through the order, so Shelby Walters comes in. Alabama now, same thing. In the fifth, top of the order, about to see everybody a third time. Let's make a change.
Yeah, I think it's an obvious change, unless the pitcher's dealing, striking out everybody, I think it's an obvious change, especially with the lineups that we're dealing with tonight. You have Georgia, you have Alabama, both swinging the bat great. Just give them a different look. Give them a different look and see what they can do.
12th appearance, 28 2/3. 16 hits, 6 runs, only 1 earned. She's walked 8, struck out 29. Batters 158 against her. As that one goes above the head of the catcher, Giles. One out walk from Lindy Ray Davis. That'll bring up Sarah Mosley.
I think for me, the biggest takeaway thus far in this game, in the difference in this game, is quality at bats. That's not always a hit, but for Georgia tonight, I feel like they've had a couple walks in very key situations with runners on. The last inning the inning before when they got ahead, they had a hit, they had a bunt, they had a walk, which led to Armistead being able to come up with 2 runners on and be able to hit that ball. So for me, it's quality at bats and understanding the importance of that throughout the entire game.
Hannah Davila to pinch run at first. Mosley sends this one to the wall in left. Davila's going to get the green light. No throw. She scores standing. Georgia plates its 4th run of the contest on a 1-out single from Sarah Mosley.
When you're seeing it, you're seeing it. But again, you start that with a quality at bat, you get walked, you have another runner on, she scores from first, standing up.
And maybe some little things defensively there to watch too. That ball not fielded cleanly out in left field.
For sure, yeah.
Tony giving him the green light there to come around. And Davila actually looked back and did not just go straight ahead, but then the cutoff throw, The catcher, Giles, begging for the ball, wanting to make a play at the plate. It's cut off by the shortstop because Mosley went halfway between before retreating back. So a couple of different things happening right there that allowed Georgia to get that 4th run.
Yeah, I think if you filled that cleanly, you have a play, you stop the girl at third, you might have an easier play at home. But also it's important as the outfielder, regardless of where that ball ends up, you get that ball in quick, hit your cut. Now you determine if you have a chance at home or if you split the runner and you keep her at 1. So the best part of that scenario is that that runner is still at 1. Because if they would have thrown home, made that play, that runner goes 2.
Emma Castori is pinch running at first base for Sarah Mosley. Jada Kearney back into the lineup. Eaton came in to play defense.
Number 6, Sydney Kuma.
So here's Sydney Kuma. Looks at a strike, 0-1.
The player in me right now, and to like spice it up a little bit, you could do like a little sneaky bunt down third base because look how deep your third baseman is. That way you move the runners, you're most likely safe. Now you have bases loaded for Jaden Fields. Because look, the defense is really far back. You put down a sneaky bunt, you're going to be safe.
Those middle infielders at the edge of the infield dirt.
What they're wanting is a hard ground ball. That way they can turn too.
Two and one to Kuma. That one gets away. Runner to third. Everyone's going to advance.
She didn't have to bunt.
Now the base is open for her, and she's ahead 3-1.
And I think this is a great opportunity to understand situational hitting. Get something to the green in the air so the runners can tag up. That's immediately what comes to my mind in this situation, in this type of game. You have one job, get the ball deep in the air, so swing at something that you can get out there in the green.
Georgia 1 for 4 here with runners in scoring position tonight. It's a wild pitch that'll advance the runners into scoring position. Fouled back with a full count. Bases are loaded. So with the bases loaded, Jaden Fields. Leah Johnson doesn't record an out in 17 pitches. And she's responsible for all 3 runners aboard here.
Yeah, this is a tough position to come into. But I think, start off strong with a strike. I think that's what you have to do. Mentality-wise, you go right at them.
Nice catch there in the grandstands. Two hands, saw it all the way in.
And I think if you're Georgia here, you just keep the same mentality of seeing good pitches that you can hit hard and keep this inning going and keeping this inning alive.
Popped up, coming to us. You were ready.
Almost had that one.
Another catch, nice catch. Just casual, just trying to think she's trying to sneak that one out of here. She's tucking that one away there.
I did reach for my non-glove hand, though, so that's weird.
Fields swings and misses for strike 3. That'll be the second out of the inning, and that's a big one here with the bases loaded and a good confidence booster there for Brisky.
Yeah, I think you come in this situation, you have to come in with a very clear mindset of what your goal is, and it's not to shy away from what you pitch. It's to go right at them, trust your stuff, and be confident.
60 miles an hour there.
Which is significantly slower than the pitchers that have been pitching.
Chamblee is 0 for 2 here tonight. Check swing, she won't go, but it's a called strike. One, two, this one is sent to right field. The park will hold it, and coming over is White to make the catch. And an atta girl, Jocelyn Brisky, comes in with one away, and the base elements, they get the camera set up on heights sometimes as well. They've got the tough job, and they've done a phenomenal job for us tonight. We've seen a replay that our camera crew gave a good look back for Birmingham to make the call and fix the right call there at first base as the first pitch is popped up. Bailey Dowling flies out to Chamblee, one away. But even back in the control room, our director, Beth Ann Nieblet, and our fearless producer, Megan Wiggins, or Beck Campbell, excuse me, Megan Wiggins sitting up here next to me. Yeah. Brian Gierach, our technical director, Joshua Gerard, Connor Bilbo, Aiden Daly on tape, graphics, Jack Keys, John Ostergaard keeping us straight with balls and strikes. Up there in the left-hand corner of your screen, Abby Benfield on video here tonight, and we appreciate everybody bringing it to you here tonight. We've been treated to a really good one. 4-2 here as we head to the top of the 6th. Ground ball to short. Armistead too hot to handle there and a little high. And Clark going to slide into second. She'll be aboard there as that one was high for Digby there at first. And Alabama in business here in the 6th.
Like we said earlier, these types of games, it's going to come down to the small things. And, you want to have good, tight fundamentals on defense. Obviously making a better throw. So maybe just taking a little extra time, get that ball settled, hit her in the chest.
So Clark aboard with the fielding error here by the shortstop. Be Georgia's second error here of the game. Tony Baldwin out to talk and settle his infield down. So in scoring position here with one away. Kinley Cahalan. Solo home run back in the second, got the scoring going in our contest tonight. She flew out in the 4th. Well hit, this one to center on the run, tailing back, and a great catch there by Goodnight. She'll turn and throw back to second. Boy, that was a tough catch for Goodnight. Pulled in. She had to get going to get back to it.
Yeah, that's one of the harder plays in the outfield, just something straight back over your head. You have got to get a good jump on that ball, and she did, and it helps that she has a lot of speed. and be able to make that jump right there at the last second. That's not an easy play to make, and she made it look like she was Michael Jordan out there.
There's a little jump man there at the end to try to outreach and pull that one in. So 2 away, runner at second.
And also another note on that play, as the runner at second, you see that ball going over her head. You know that Dallas is, pretty speedy herself. She looks like she's tracking it down. You could tag up on that ball. Yeah. Instead, you're still sitting at second.
Now Lauren Essman finds herself behind 0-2.
Because in reality, if that ball does get over her head, you're probably scoring regardless. So if you can at least get 60 feet and make sure you get 60 feet, she might have been able to tag up on that.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. Crimson Tide double up. 4-2 is our score. Jocelyn Brisky coming on in relief there in the 5th. Inherited a bases-loaded jam with just 1 away. Struck out Fields, got Chambly to fly out. And now she'll settle in, go 7, 8, and 9 here in the 6th.
Yeah, that was a big inning. That was a tough situation to come into. And I think she did flawless. She got outs. She got out of that inning and give her team a fighting chance.
But a little bit of a challenge here as she'll get things started in the 6th. Ellie Armistead is 2 for 2 tonight. The single in the 2nd. But then the 3-run home run to bust this one open for Georgia back in the 4th. And she's going to be 3 for 3 as she sends this one over the head of Cahalan at short.
Yeah, she's seeing the ball good tonight. She's being aggressive. She had 2 really good early at-bats. She had long at-bats, seeing a lot of pitches. And now it just looks like she's, in BP, very comfortable just swinging.
Squared to bunt. The throw was at second for 1 to first, not in time. So Digby aboard.
Now batting center fielder number 1, Dallas Goodnight.
One on and 1 out here for Dallas Goodnight in the 9-hole.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing. I think with her speed, it's almost automatic. Regardless of how close the infield is, you have to challenge them, and you still want to move runners.
Ian Rogers, our home plate umpire. I don't think there's going to be a challenge from Alabama.
And I think the thing that made that successful is it looked like she was going to swing. She got her leg up a little bit, and then it was a sneaky bunt. So you kind of still catch them off guard, even though they know you've already bunted this game.
So Armistead was taken out on a 5-6, the fielder's choice for Digby off the bunt. And then Goodnight bunt singles her way aboard, first and second with 1 away. Top of the order, Lindy Ray Davis behind here 0-2. She's walked twice tonight.
She's ready to swing. Tired of getting walked. I want to swing.
Nice catch made here. Packed house. Here's a ground ball to short. The throw is at third for the lead runner. 2 away now. Will remain first and second as Davis aboard on another fielder's choice.
And that's a good play by the shortstop. You know, her momentum's leading that way to the 5-6 hole. She backhands that and just tosses it to third. That's not an easy play to make, but heads up, knowing where your runners are and which way your feet are moving. So
first and second, 2 out. Patrick Murphy's going to come out and talk with his Infield. He's not shy about coming out and having a quick chat with his pitcher, having a quick chat with his infield.
I think sometimes it just kind of breaks up the situation, and it gives you the chance to kind of recollect yourself, say something that you need to get out off your chest and, really get everybody back on the same page.
Here's Sarah Mosley. 2 for 3 night for her. Her average now 350 on the season. Pair of singles. Bouncer off the plate. Crossing in front of the shortstop. She'll get it over to Diggins. We go to the 7th. Nine, 1, and 2 for Alabama. Is Georgia looking to throw the door closed here in the 7th?
The last 2 innings, Shelby has started off going right at the batters, trying to get ahead early. She knows what's at stake here, and I think it's really important to note that as a pitcher, go right at them. Don't avoid it. Go right at them, especially you're up by 2 here.
Kristen White. Two goes outside, 1 and 2. White was pinch hit for in the 4th. Marissa Pruitt was aboard with a fielder's choice. White last batted in the 3rd. She is 0 for 1 here tonight. Georgia crowd wanted that one. Is that one just outside?
Looks like she might have missed her spot a little bit, but like we said earlier, it's still close to the zone, so it's getting the eyes of the hitter, trying to figure out if they're going to swing, if they're not, what are they going to swing at.
Swats at this one.
And as a slapper, a lot of times what they look for is that outside pitch. And when they do, they go 5-6, they go third base, they go left field. So as a pitcher, you throw right into that, and your defense has got it covered.
.29 pitches now for Walters. She came in. Back of the 5th, there's another one.
Go right at him.
Here comes Tony Baldwin. Struck out 51, batters 207 against her.
And I think about why Tony would do this change, because that's intriguing to me. I think it's to get her time in this atmosphere, in this type of game.
This one is blooped over the head of Kuma. She gave a good chase to it, couldn't get there. And a 1-out single for Jenna Johnson, her first hit of the day.
And getting these pitchers to establish themselves as a starter, as a relief, and as a closer, and getting them all different opportunities to do all 3.
Backus, a left-hander, excuse me, I said she was a righty there a moment ago. North Carolina transfer. She got the start Wednesday night against Georgia Tech. She went 6 innings. Had a no-hitter until the 6th.
And ended up having a 1-hitter only, right?
And that one's going to hit Kaylee Heveland. So now a little bit of a jam for Backus.
Batting first baseman number 10, Abby Boucher.
Abby Dukeshire is 0 for 3. One and one. High 2-1. Dukeshire with a pair of ground outs, sandwiching a fly out.
I think it's really imperative right now, this late in the game, is to make sure you're using your off speed. Because they've seen speed. They've seen, 2, 3, 4 at bats all night. So continuing to mix speeds, I think, at this point in the game is really important for Backus here.
Count even 2-2. Lefty on righty matchup for the pitcher. Called, strike 3. Two away.
It's a different look coming out of a lefty's hand. With the off speed, it's a different angle. That's a great pitch. Great pitch.
Two on and two out. Marley Giles is Alabama's last hope of extending game one. Georgia looking to take the first of 3 here this weekend. Backus kind of settled in. Boy, she is not afraid now. Jack Turner Stadium comes to its feet.
You go right at them here, make them earn it. Backus is ahead 0-2. What we've been talking about all night. You're in the driver's seat. You don't have to throw anything over the white. You can make her swing. Trust your pitches.
Here comes high, 1-2. One, two. Fouled back out of play again.
So now she's established the high pitch, and the hitter wants to swing at that too. Then she still has her off speed, and she can throw a drop ball. So now she has the different heights. She can go in and out, and she's still ahead here, 1-2.
1-2, swung on and missed for strike 3. And now Georgia defeats Alabama in game 1 of